All right. Good morning, everyone. So, um, so please check your midterm grade and let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you are satisfied with your midterm grade. And we're gonna, we didn't have any discussion and sketchbook last week, so I think you got very relaxed, except for the midterm. But now we're gonna back to the normal. So for the rest of the course, give me 1 second. Okay. So for the rest of the course, we will see a brief art history. So this is the first chapter. We are going to see the prehistoric and ancient Mediterranean world. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a picture of your attendance again. All right. Let's see the beginning of the art history. So Mediterranean Sea, where the story of Western art begins. So it is surrounding Africa, the Near East, and Europe, beginning around 3000 BCE. Numerous ancient civilizations arose, overlaps, and interacted. And they learned from one another and conquered each other. And they transformed into the world. So here is the Mediterranean Sea. And this is a female figure sculpture 25,000 years ago. It's a long, long time ago. Was found near Willendorf, a town in present-day Austria. So it is small enough to fit comfortably in the palm of hand, and it has detailed hairstyle that covers the entire head, and the body's proportions are exaggerated. So scholars long assumed that they were fertility figures used in some symbolic way to encourage pregnancy and childbirth. And this is a daily life of the Neolithic period in the rock paintings of the Tassili region of Algeria in northern Africa. Today, Tassili is part of the Sahara, the world's largest desert. So we can assume at that time, the desert had not yet emerged. So the region is a vast grassland, home to animals, plants, and the people we see depicted here. The figure depicts the sense of human and animals' bodies in actively posed stylized silhouettes. So now let's see the Mediterranean world. So today we are going to see, hi. Okay, let me mute. So today we are going to see two big art threads of Mediterranean world. So first one is Mesopotamia here. And this next one is Egypt. So let me show you ancient Mediterranean world's timeline first. So female figure we just saw is about 23,000 BCE, and the rock painting in Northern Africa is about 5,000 BCE, and the Mesopotamia arose about 2,000 years before the century. And the area of Mesopotamia was highly desirable, so many empires were built and disappeared, like Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, Assyria, and Babylon again. On the other hand, Egypt was continued as one empire for 1700 years, and it was parallel with the Mesopotamia's time period. So let's see the Mesopotamia first. The region known to the ancient world as Mesopotamia occupied a large area roughly equivalent to the present-day nation of Iraq. Fertile soil watered by the Tigris River and Euphrates rivers made Mesopotamia highly desirable, but a lack of natural boundaries made it easy to invade and difficult to defend. So these are the city-state and empires in Mesopotamia. So Sumer built a city-state in Mesopotamia first, and then the next empire was by Akkadian, and the second empire was Babylonian, and the third empire of Mesopotamia was built by Assyrian. And the last empire of the Mesopotamia was built Babylonian again. So let's see one by one. So the first cities of Mesopotamia arose in the southern area, a region called Sumer, about 3,400 BCE. And Sumerian were the first people to leave behind them not just artifacts, but also words. So lacking stone, the Sumerian built their cities of sun-dried brick using the load-bearing construction technique. And they had refined the luxurious aspects of art. And by 2300 BCE, the Sumerian city-states had been conquered by their neighbors to the north, the Akkadians. Under ruler Sargon I, the Akkadian established the region's first empire. Sargon I's grandson, Naram-Sin, commemorated his victory over the Lullaby people of eastern Mesopotamia with monumental stele of King Naram-Sin. This is it. So it pictures the Akkadian king here, dressed in gold-like regalia and striding confidently over the defeated soldiers. Let's see the second empire by Babylonian. So Amorites, who consolidated their rule over the region and established a capital at Babylon. The most important legacy of the Babylonian Empire is not artistic, but legal. A set of ethics and law complied under the ruler Hammurabi. Known as Hammurabi's Code, it is the only complete legal code to survive from ancient world, and it has provided historians with valuable insight into the structure and concerns of Mesopotamian society. And the next empire is by Assyrians. So Assyrians had been gathering power and territory since before 1100 BCE, and their military strength increased significantly under Ashurnasir's II. It was the largest empire the region had seen by that time. Ashurnasir's palace had gates fronted by monumental stone slabs curved into enormous human-headed winged beasts, a bull, and a lion. And the last empire was by Neo-Babylonian. So Babylonians, again, came to the power in Mesopotamia in the late 7th century BCE, and they formed a kingdom now called the Neo-Babylonian. These Neo-Babylonians surely must be ranked among the great architects of the ancient world, and they developed a true arch before the Romans did and were mastered of decorative design for architecture. And now let's see the Egypt. Everyone needs to stay with me. It's kind of an unusual, topic you've heard, right? But Egypt is, much more familiar with you, right? All right. So the kingdom of Egypt was protected by rocky and navigable stretches of the Nile River. Here's the Nile River. And the east and west, so Nile River is in the east, and the west by vast deserts. So Egypt, during much of its long history, was spared the waves of immigration and invasion that continually transformed Mesopotamia. The Greek philosopher Plato wrote the Egyptian art did not change for 10,000 years. The Sphinx. The Sphinx is the symbol of Egyptian art, and it is the essence of stability, order, and endurance. And it faces the rising sun and seeming to cast its immovable gaze down the centuries for all eternity. And Sphinx has the body of a reclining lion and the head of a man, thought to be the pharaoh Copper, whose pyramid tomb is in the center. It looks familiar with this palette, right? So this is called Narmer's pose. So Narmer's pose is typical of Egyptian art. So when depicting an important personage like this is a Narmer. The Egyptian artist strove to show each part of the body to best advantage so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. Narmer's body is seen in profile, and his torso full front, and his head in profile, but his eye front again. So this same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. An Egyptian buries their most lavish art in royal tombs. And rulers were sent into eternity outfitted with everything they would need to continue life in the sumptuous style they had known on earth, such as furniture, jewelry, chariots, clothing, and artifacts of all kinds. So we are going to continue to see the rest of the prehistory and ancient Mediterranean world in the next class. And let's see today's sketch project. So for this chapter, we are going to do morphing drawing. Have you heard about morphing? What's morphing?
Two different types combined.
Oh, yes. Yes, exactly. So this is morphing. So morphing is a special effect in motion pictures and animations that changes or morphs one image or shape into another through a seamless transition. So it looks like a very contemporary technique. However, morphing art had been tried by ancient artists. So like this Assyrian sculpture, it has enormous human-headed winged beast, a bull, and a lion. And here's another example. And they have white beast head and human's body and bird feet. And it looks more aggressive morphing. So the left beast has bird's wing and feet and feather. So this kind of things can be the beginning of the morphing. And this is a Greek sculpture. So look at the left figure, the center. So it is half human and half horse. So now back to the 21st century. So there are lots of fun morphing images. So I will show you. So like this. It's a morphing with an elephant and an octopus. Morphing.
It was real.
No, it's not real. It's like a photo montage technique, the morphing technique. No, it's not a real. And morphing with a frog and orange. It's morphing with a human and a bird wing. Morphing with a turtle and island. Morphing with a figure and seizures. Oh, I love this. Morphing with a beetle and a, looks like cello, right? All right, so you will need a sketchbook, pencil, eraser, and any color medium you have for this project. So there are 4 categories: figure, animal, object, and nature. So please choose 2 categories and morph them. So for example, you can choose a figure and a horse among animals for morphing drawing. And as usual, please post the process of your morphing drawing work with description and reply to your peers by tomorrow. So now let me share more examples. So it's morphing with an alligator and a high heel, morphing with a cat and a snake, morphing with a scorpion and a part of machine, morphing with an ant and a measuring spoons, morphing with a girl and a wolf. So that's it. So you can do it color or black and white. It doesn't matter. And I can wait to see your creative morphing drawing. Any questions about this project? No? All right. So here's week 9.
Wait, sorry. Do we have to do this on paper or can we do it digitally?
Paper. My original intention is paper with the hand drawing, but if you can use any digital stuff like Photoshop, then you can use that. It's totally fine. But basically, I require you, to do it with your hand, hand drawing. Okay.
Okay,
And
thank you.
you're welcome. And this is week 9. So we don't have any videos to watch today, so you can just skip this part, and the lecture slide is attached here. And this is the sketchbook forum. So please post your sketchbook work process in this forum and reply to your peers by tomorrow as usual. Any questions?
So, Professor, you have to analyze your artwork too. You just drawing.
Can you say again?
I say when you do your artwork, you have to analyze, like say, describe. You have to describe.
Oh yes, just to describe what you draw, what you morph. Like I chose a figure and a cat like that. So I morph them like that.
Mommy.
Okay. All right. Any other question? No?
No.
Okay. Okay, so have fun with this creative artwork and have a great day and see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.
I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
for my daughter. She's
It's
so
okay.
naughty.